behind such popular restaurants as Viale dei Romani and Breva in Los Angeles. And today he is here in our kitchen to make a delicious chicken and chorizo paella. Please welcome for the first time to our home, hopefully not the last, Chef Casey Lane. Welcome.
Hello, you guys.
Glad to have you. Thank you for being here. Joining Sam at the counter. Ken and Shirley. Shirley loves a paella.
You guys get to eat immediately. I'm kind of jealous at the moment.
And now, I know this paella is based on the signature paella that you guys make at the Hotel Figueroa at Breva. And what really inspired this was just, you know, kind of, it's a one pot, one dish to clean up.
One pot, especially if you're like cooking for friends and hanging out at home. Like, I don't want to do a lot of cleanup, you know? I'm really into these like one pot cooking ideas, be it, you know, coq au vin or a short rib or ossobuco or anything that is one dish. We're just doing it all in here. And also there's something in the way of like a magic and a craft behind the fact that you're building flavors on top of flavors on top of flavors. And it's all happening right here. There's nothing escaping. And yeah, it's beautiful.
And you're going to show us how to make it at home, which, because a lot of times people hear coq au vin or ossobuco or paella and they think, I can't make that at home. It's so intimidating. But the truth is, you really can.
It's so easy.
And it doesn't have to be seafood. A lot of people think seafood paella, but paella is anything.
Paella is anything you want to put into it. You can go vegetarian, you can go full seafood, you can go with chicken and chorizo.
Well, today we're doing chicken chorizo. We've already browned our chicken or chorizo, which is delicious. We set that aside. And we have our vegetables going over there right now.
We have
in
the
our paella pan.
Yeah. So paella pan, kind of necessary to do this. They're really easy to find, though, online.
So you can't do it in a fry, like a skillet would not work?
You can, but you know, this is $17 to full success and happiness.
And you need surface area. It's going to be a lot harder for you. Yeah, you need the surface.
Yeah. So you really want to get a sofrito going. Sofrito can just be made ahead of time. You can keep it in the fridge for bases for soups, for pastas, for like anything you want to throw it into really easily. Also, it is the base for this. It does take a little bit of a while. That's why we did it ahead of time here. We throw in a little bit of tomato paste, kind of get that going. Let that toast up. We're gonna go in with a touch of the rice. Once again, like, you can use a risotto rice. That's pretty easy to find at any market. But if you're lucky, and a lot of markets these days do have like a
paella rice?
An actual paella rice.
Oh, how nice.
It's a little bit of a shorter grain. It's not as starchy.
So that's different than an arborio.
It is. It's a smaller grain. It doesn't quite have the starch that the arborio has inside of it. Anyway, we'll stir that together with sofrito.
And you really want to toast that rice.
You want to toast it a bit, yeah. Absolutely.
So the key to this to the paella is you want the rice to get crunchy and sticky and stuck to the bottom, whereas in other rice dishes, the last thing you want is to get them stuck to the bottom. You want it stuck.
That's really funny. You're right.
Yeah.
You almost want to smell the rice burning a touch in this, whereas with most rice dishes,
that's the last thing you want.
Total faux pas. And it's important to stir this, kind of early and often, because as soon as we start going in with the liquid, no more touching it.
Okay, because then you want it to reduce.
You want it to reduce, and you also don't want it to become starchy like risotto, how it's really creamy and all that kind of bleeds out. You want it to really stay fluffy, you know what I mean, and just be a little simpler.
So you just added saffron.
A little bit of saffron.
Now, is that your touch or is that classic paella?
Super classic paella. Whether or not you would add it to, the Valenciana is maybe the most famous paella that is made, and that one is seafood and really no tomato paste. Different sofrito and just so much saffron. It's just glowing yellow. It's beautiful. It's really pretty though.
Yeah.
But a little bit of saffron kind of keeps it fun. And then go in with our first reduction of chicken stock, pork stock, whatever you can really find.
Okay.
We're gonna turn this up just a little bit.
Okay, crank her up.
Yeah, crank this up, and then this stir is kind of our final stir. So you want to like work everything off the bottom, the fond as they would call it, that was built from browning the chicken, browning the chorizo, getting the sofrito.
Yeah.
So you do all that in that same pan.
One pot, one pot. That's our entire
flavor.
idea.
You're getting the chorizo fat flavor. You're getting
all of that flavor.
So much great flavor.
Yeah, and then this is really kind of the last time we're going to stir it. So we're just going to even it all out.
And you let it all soak.
And we're just going to let it soak, and we're going to let it start to simmer itself down.
And then when it
Make
soaks,
sure we're in a good place.
you do some more.
Yep.
And then it soaks, and you do some more.
As soon as it reduces, you almost want it to reduce all the way out.
So how long would this take to fully reduce? I know this is television, so we don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, you're probably going to go, this is going to take about 2.5, 3 minutes. We would go in with another bit. That's probably going to take about 4.5 minutes, going with another one, and then we're going to taste. And just with a fork, just taste right off the top. As soon as you can tell that, this rice is cooked, we're going to go in with one more time. We're going to put the chicken, the chorizo, the peas, just kind of nestle it all in on top.
Drop that in.
And
Do you
then
want it to fluff the rice, or do you want
you want it to fluff. Yeah, no, you want it to fluff. Undercooked, like, that's why we get that crispiness on the bottom instead of
the al dente?
Instead of the al dente, because That is one thing that is not amazing is when
Right, you're right.
is when you eat a whole bowl of undercooked rice and butter.
Right.
That really is
If
disappointing.
the paella doesn't have the crunch, it's really not paella.
100%.
You know? Okay, so, and I see that you add the peas at the end so they don't get all mushy, right?
We do. All of these kind of literally just on that final reduction after our rice is cooked. Spread it around evenly. Once again, not stirring. Do not stir. Just
Now, did
kinda
we
let
salt
it
this
all-
already, or do we
did,
salt it at the
yeah,
end? Okay.
Yeah. And the best way to do it if you're making your own stock is salt the stock. That
Right.
way you're not adding and adding. You kind of already tasted that, and you know that that tastes
Right.
like a lovely little soup that's like kind of perfectly
Right.
seasoned.
For-
As it reduces, it's going to become perfect. Yeah.
So is it called sokora?
Sokorat is the crispy kind of stuck to the bottom. Yeah.
It's my favorite kind of rice.
One of the better.
I'm not a big fan of rice. I love the sokorat.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
good.
at Viale, we do some sautéed rice dishes that are super fun. They're very, very different, a little bit lighter, really kind of Southern Italian.
Nice.
And it's very similar, but without that sokorat, more
Right.
of a sautéed, like kind of crispy rice. It's
I
really
love
fun.
This is
Right.
freaking me out here that it's cooking so much, but that's what
It
it
is.
does. Huh?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
when
you
it's
need to put
burning, it's
more.
burning, but that's basically
100%.
what you want it to do.
And you just like kind of keep layering this, your stock or
Right.
your vegetable base, whatever it is, over it and over it, so it doesn't actually burn, and it just kind of slowly fluffs the rice out. It's really nice. Yeah.
oh, it's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's so fun, dude. People love it at the house. You can do it outdoors over like the wood grill or on like even a normal grill. You can do it inside.
And you could
people
put
just
anything
geek out.
in this now that you could put
100%.
any vegetable you
Yeah,
really wanted.
Absolutely. We just picked peas because, well, we're all looking forward to the
Right,
rain
to
stopping.
spring.
And
Yeah.
spring
Spring
coming,
finally
and,
getting here.
figured a little intro to it.
And then after about 15, 18 minutes,
We have our final reduction. We have fluffy rice. We have like this gorgeous kind of crust that's happening out and around the outside of it.
and I have to be honest, I would love to see this served on the table like this.
100%. Yeah, and that's the fun of
Right.
it. You just set it on the table. Everyone gets to kind of scrape it
In.
out.
Okay, now let's look at the beautiful crispy rice that we're gonna serve out of here.
And we can finish this one. A little bit of
What was the name of the crispy rice again?
Sokorat is what they
Sokorat.
refer to as the bottom, yeah. There's one really, really good spot in New York for it that's called Sokorat. They probably do the best job of anyone.
Well, except
Well,
for you.
second best.
I said in New York, okay?
Okay, now do we need
Yep.
a special, like a spatula to get around so we can see the really good crunchy rice?
Anything works. You just
Okay.
kind of get in and like really scrape out the sides of it as you serve it to make sure, and you can just see all of that kind of being built
How about
around the
that?
outside. Yeah.
That's
That's the
amazing.
good part.
Okay.
So you guys played it up, and I want to point
good.
out the fact I know your grandfather grew up in France, and he had a lot of influence on your career and ultimately on your menu too.
Yeah, just on me as like a person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He was from Lyon. My grandmother was actually from Marseille in the south. And Marseille is so kind of multicultural with all of the immigration from Northern Africa
Yeah, Morocco.
and Morocco especially. And like this has just played a big, kind of role in the identity and kind of some of the inspiration that we have when we cook. And I've really enjoyed like playing with the spice cabinet and bringing like a little bit of a different idea, a different flair to some of the like more basic Southern Italian and Southern French cooking that I think people have really identified with as is.
Yeah, you're really great.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tasting Kitchen in LA and in New York is second to none. You're really, really great. You're very understated and cool about it, but you're an amazing
And
chef.
you were great here today too, just making this whole thing happen just in
Yeah.
a little time, man.
Well,
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
It's not easy to do.
Have a taste,
Cheers.
have a taste, Deb. You're gonna love it. You'll find the recipe as always at hallmarkchannel.com.